This is insane. I love it. Oh, man. When it comes to glitch percussion, one of my favorite plugins of all time is Replicant. The makers of Replicant, Audio Damage, recently updated their plugin to version 3, adding a ton of new features and completely redesigning the interface from the ground up. So in today's video, we're gonna take a look at Replicant 3 so you guys can see just how powerful this plugin is and why you need to add it to your own productions. So if you like this kind of video, make sure you smash that like button on the way in and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And if you want to pick up Replicant 3, you can do so with the link down below in the description so you can follow along this tutorial. By using this link and shopping at Plugin Boutique, not only are you getting a great deal, but you're helping to support this channel as well so I can keep making videos just like this one. That being said, let's get into it. Replicant 3. Enjoy. All right, so here we are inside of Ableton Live 11. Now the goal with today's video is to show you guys Replicant 3, the beat slicing and audio mangling plugin from Audio Damage. I've been using Replicant for years on sound design applications, glitch percussion material. A lot of the earlier Signs of Life records had Replicant on it. And so when I saw that Replicant 3 had now just come out as a completely redesigned and reimagined plugin, I was pretty excited. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you guys around Replicant 3, all the new features, and ultimately so you guys can see how powerful this plugin is and why you need to add it to your own productions. All right, so I've got a background track here, so we're gonna play the background track, and on the other side, we're gonna talk all about Replicant 3. Here we go. So as you can hear, this thing is just nasty. I mean, it's full of all these glitches and stutters, and that's really what makes Replicant, all right? So let's just start from scratch here, and then we can kind of go from, this is a custom preset that I built just for this demo, but let's go ahead and just start things from scratch. Now in the presets folder, you can just click on the top here. In the user folder, they have a preset called Clean Slate, and that is basically just beyond default. It's just like, that's it, everything's set to 0, right? So let's go over the basic features of Replicant, and then we're gonna get into some of the more deeper topics and what it can actually do, all right? So Replicant on its core surface, just, you know, at its base level, is a stutter, right? It's a beat effect where it actually slices the audio into multiple slices. Now, you have control over here about how big those slices are. There's randomization controls, how many repeats you're gonna have. And here in version 3, we now have a sort of trigger sequencer, they're calling it. So you can sort of push in some notes here, and as Replicant goes along, wherever these are clicked, that's where the audio is gonna repeat. Now, how big or how small those slices are gonna be is based on this knob right here. So you can go all the way up to 128, and right next to it, you find a randomization knob. So if you wanna have, say, 1/64, but then randomize those so they're not always 64th notes, you can do that. So the higher you turn up the randomization chance, the more likely you get to, you know, slower slices, if you will. Same goes for the repeat. So you can crank it all the way up to 15 and then randomize it out. And on percussion material, it sounds quite nice. I'm gonna solo this track. This is a patch called Data Lore from Parallax 5. This is coming out soon on Material, so I'm using a brand new patch from a new sound set that is forthcoming. And yeah, it's a really good patch. Total glitch percussion. But as you can see, Replicant is just chopping it up. So every time you get these slices, all right, it's really just going to town. The repeats knob, use with care, right? If you overdo it, it's gonna sound just completely glitched out. So I would just kind of play with this a little bit. Maybe hit the randomization knob there so you kind of get a variation. That's nice. Right? We have the size over here so that you can, if you want to do odd timings or something, you can set it to like 7. Then Replicant will never repeat on the same measure twice if you're playing in 4/4. So as you can see here, I have it set to 1, 4, and 5. But because it's set to 7, it's repeating at a different point every single time. That's quite nice. So you can set it all the way up to 16 here. And then you have the likelihood that those trigger sequencers are even going to fire. So you have the selected, which is the percentage of the selected, and then also a randomization chance. These two knobs work together. So sometimes it might be firing, sometimes not. And then a randomized chance. So that's awesome to see. And then let's move over to some of the more interesting features of Replicant, which is the effector. We have this effector right here, which is basically like a mixer. If you think about it, the effector is, you have these slice effects down here, and you can see when you go to slice effects, all of these same 4 names of all the effects show up. So you have stutter, delay, redukt, which is bit reduction, and the ring mod, right? So if I just turn on stutter here, now the stutter is now active, and it's only active when those trigger sequencers are firing. So you can see that every time the audio crosses over one of those lit up triggers, stutter is firing. Now what is stutter? Stutter is like the ultimate repeat. It's like really stuttering that thing out. It's taking one slice of audio and copying it multiple times. Right here you have a division knob. You can go all the way up to 128. Which is awesome. But what I like to do, which is kind of cool, is take something, Replicant doesn't have its own internal LFO system. I wish it did. And maybe in a future version, we might have that. So what you can do is take an external LFO, like the one in Ableton Live, or the one in Bitwig, or any other modulation source of your choice, and send that into Replicant. Now, when I open up Replicant 3 in Ableton, I can see all of the different modulation destinations here. So I can go ahead and just say, all right, let's select the stutter division, and that's right over here. So when I select that and have a randomized LFO playing, you can hear and see that when Replicant starts playing, that division is now moving. That's awesome. We could put a second LFO on pitch. So it would go from 1 octave down to 1 octave up. That might be kind of cool. We can also adjust the length here. You can see that. It's really quite nice. So what's missing in Replicant 3 is in Replicant 2, there used to be a random knob or random button that would randomize all the parameters inside of Replicant 3. Now in the manual, it says that it's there. So maybe that button didn't actually make the cut. But considering the fact that you have all of these randomization options, I'm not missing it that much. You could just use an external LFO or some sort of other modulation source and really get some amazing glitched out. It's almost like you don't need it anymore. So maybe it didn't make the cut. Maybe we'll see it pop up again. Who knows? So stutter combined with the replicator, then you're really rolling, all right? So we also have a delay here, so you can add a percentage of delay. One of my favorite tricks is adding some randomization to the timing of delay. It creates some really nice glitchy effects. So I can come into the list of my LFO over here and map that to the time value. Let's go ahead and just add that here manually. Let's see if we can find it. It would be the delay time right there. Boom. So now you can see the delay time is now randomly glitching. That's really cool. Love that. You got color here, feedback level. And again, the effector is only working when those triggers are firing. Okay, that's kind of nice. You can have more or less if you want. You get a randomization chance. That's nasty. I love it. All right, couple more things. So we could also do the bit reduction. Let's go in here and add let's just say we'll map the bit reduction level. So we'll come over here, we'll find bit reduction. Redukt bits, there it is right there. We could also do Redukt samples. So let's go ahead and play that again. That's insane. So now our bits are being reduced at a random rate, right? And we have this firing off at a random chance. Oof. However many times. We've got a ring modulator here. Now, somebody mentioned in a forum that I was reading, it would be nice if the ring modulator would be tunable. That might be nice as well, but it's not. That's okay. It still sounds great. You have a mount knob here. Also your frequency. So those are all the slice effects under the effector. Now that's kind of the meat and potatoes of Replicant there. You do have event effects over here. So you have a panner, which is an auto panner. Now, this panner is interesting because you have a position here, right? You could modulate this with an LFO. Or you have an auto panner, if you will, or right here in the middle. So now it's saying that, okay, here's our speed, how far, right? And they also have the width, right? So how far, 180 are we going? So what's interesting is this speed has a right and left. So I found that if you put the position all the way left and then you put the speed all the way right, you're gonna get a true 180 auto pan. You can probably do the reverse, right? You can find some medium point somewhere in between. So that's just panning the actual stutters, replicants, whatever the triggers or you want to call it. That's what's panning all of that out left and right. You could do this externally with an auto pan plugin, but it's nice to have it right there. Also in version 3 is an envelope control. Now, this was not in version 2. So envelope control means that you actually have an internal envelope. So if you wanted to use it, say, on a pad or a more sustained material, you could do that and let it just sort of fade in over time and allow Replicant to do its thing with a longer attack. You can hold it here for like a sustain and then a release. But on glitch percussion material, you probably want to have it nice and tight. So that's nice to see. And finally, we have a high pass filter and a low pass filter. So we could modulate this again. Let's do that. Let's come over to our LFO here. We'll find the filter low pass frequency, right? Filter high pass, resonance, and frequency. We could adjust the resonance if we wanted to. That's already sounding absolutely bananas. So, you hear what that sounds like. This is insane. I love it. Oh, man. And finally up here we have the output controls. You have a manual button. So if you wanted to MIDI trigger this, every time you would send MIDI notes in here, Replicant will fire whenever these are going off. So you can actually send MIDI information into Replicant and have it manually done that way. That's pretty nice. You have 3 modes that were in version 2 that have made their return in version 3. You have mix mode, which mixes your original signal with the signal of Replicant. Duck, which is only giving you Replicant when Replicant is doing its thing. Otherwise, you're gonna get your signal. And then you have send, which is 100% wet. So if you're using this on a send effect, all we're hearing now is just the sound of whatever Replicant is doing. So if you're using Replicant as an insert, you would probably use mix or duck. If you're using it as a send effect, you'd use it on send mode. So that's it. Replicant 3 in a nutshell. If you combine all of these controls with all of this power And the price, it's only $69. This thing really does take those glitchy, just crazy, whacked out percussion sounds to another level. I've always thought this. And if you combine this with the free automaton that they now offer, Ableton's Beat Repeat, I mean, there are so many ways that you can create insane glitch percussion with just a couple plugins, with just a couple moves, a couple knobs, right? And a couple techniques that really elevate what you're doing. This is the kind of thing that's gonna be in your arsenal for a long time. I guarantee it. It's been in mine. Is it in yours yet? Links down below in the description. You can grab it from Plugin Boutique, $69. Replicant 3, that's a home run. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I do this kind of stuff every single week over on Patreon, so if you're looking for exclusive content, feel free to join me over there. We've got a wonderful community over there, and I do tutorials like this on glitch percussion. I've got a bunch of glitch percussion packs that you can download samples and just load those up into a drum kit, put Replicant 3 on it, off and running. Plus tutorials to back that up. Your boy Science, I got your back. Stay tuned for more. This channel is full of good material. We're doing new videos every single week. I'm super excited to be doing what I do. I hope it's inspiring you. Take good care, you guys, and as always, keep your heads in the clouds and your feet planted firmly on the ground. My name is Chris from Signs of Life, and I'll see you all in the next one.